This is a super exciting night. We are now officially tits deep in the Trump impeachment trial. The only thing standing between us and justice is 53 Republican senators and the reality that this entire process is doomed. Let's get hopeless.
Most Americans do not believe there will be a fair trial. They don't believe that the Senate will be impartial. They believe that the result is pre-cooked. The president will be acquitted. Not because he is innocent, he is not, but because the senators will vote by party and he has the votes.
Anyway, cheers to the bride and groom. Republicans have absolutely no doubt about the president's innocence, which is why they're bravely inviting witnesses to go themselves.
You think there'll be no witnesses, period?
I do. I think they have the votes for that, and I think that's the right thing to do.
Oh, and if anyone's an expert on witnesses not talking about the crimes they saw, it's Jim Jordan. One non-witness's non-testimony will be especially fascinating to not hear. You may remember Lev Parnas as one of the two Rudy Giuliani associates who were arrested trying to flee the country in October. That's him on the left, along with his lesser-known partner, Igor Fruman, who's kind of the DJ Jazzy Jeff to Lev's Fresh Prince. To give you a little background, Lev was born in Ukraine in 1972, making him somehow only 47 years old. He moved to the U.S. at the age of 3 when he presumably already looked 59. He had a colorful career filled with questionable businesses and accusations of fraud. Then a few years ago, he and Igor met Rudy Giuliani while, I'm gonna guess, robbing his grave. Rudy was obsessed with conspiracy theories about Parnas' home country, so he enlisted Parnas to help pressure Ukraine into investigating Biden. But now that Parnas has flipped against Rudy and Trump, the White House is doing everything it can to undermine him.
The White House argues Parnas is simply not credible.
This is a man who's under indictment and who's actually out on bail.
Yeah, come back to us when you have some law-abiding criminal conspirators. Granted, Parnas is not the most trustworthy person, but his credibility gets a boost because he brought receipts, huge receipts, like CVS-level receipts that are 30 feet long and come with a coupon for store-brand hemorrhoid cream. Parnas has provided text messages, photos, letters, emails, voicemails, and the rap song about the crime that Don Jr. wrote to try and impress his dad. He has a letter from Rudy to Ukrainian President Zelensky in which Rudy admits he's reaching out with the president's knowledge and consent. Ironically, the president's two least favorite things. He has text chats with Ukraine's then prosecutor general who says he's prepared to thrash Trump's opponent in exchange for getting rid of the U.S. ambassador to Ukraine. Parnas even provided a handwritten note literally outlining the specific goal of getting Zelensky to investigate Biden. If it were any more of a smoking gun, Don Jr. would be holding it over a dead elephant. Trump, you know I'm right. Trump has desperately tried to deny any relationship with Parnas, but every time he does, Parnas' lawyer releases photos of him cozying up to his client, often compiled in bar mitzvah-style pop music slideshows.
Stop. Hammer time. Go with the flow. It is said if you get through the list, you probably are dead.
Oh, I get it. It's hammer time because he's holding a gavel. That's a little study hint for future AP history students when this video comes up on exams. Who was McHammer? Was he like the Secretary of Agriculture? There are photos of Parnas with Trump, with Pence, with Kellyanne, with Jared and Ivanka, with Don Jr., and with Eric. Parnas has been so omnipresent in Trump's world, he even somehow managed to get a photo of himself at Donald's conception. Every time Trump proclaims his innocence, another piece of evidence pops up to poke a hole in his story. That's why Republicans are setting themselves up for trouble by not hearing the evidence. Look, guys, we know you're going to acquit Trump, but do you really think that'll be the end? You think there won't be any more accomplices who snitch on Trump to protect themselves, or any more journalists who dig up proof of his guilt? Even if Trump is reelected, this Ukraine story will haunt him until the blessed day when he's forcibly plunged out of the White House like a toilet clog. Of course, it would be hypocritical of me not to be open-minded, so let's consider what Trump's defense team has to say. Who's defending him anyway? Oh, he is as guilty as ass. Continuing his tradition of appointing only the best, Trump's defenders include Ken Starr, Alan Dershowitz, and Jim Jordan. It's a virtual dream team of rape culture. Let's recap. Softly poached egg Ken Starr is best known for being the independent counsel during the Clinton scandal, but did you also know he was president of very Christian Baylor University and that during his tenure, hundreds of incidents of sexual assault were handled inappropriately? Just to be clear, when Jesus said to turn the other cheek, he didn't mean away from people getting assaulted. Joining Starr in his defense of Trump is lawyer and guy whose fingernails you could just tell are too long, Alan Dershowitz, who infamously wrote a 1997 op-ed saying statutory rape is an outdated concept. We'd ask Dershowitz about that column from 23 years ago, but he probably lost interest in it when it turned 16. In Dershowitz's defense, it's not like he was close friends with notorious pedophile and didn't kill himself for Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, no, I'm sorry, he totally was. The only way that could be more incriminating is if Dershowitz and Epstein showed up to a party in their matching I Love R. Kelly shirts. Then there's congressman and villain in every Lifetime movie, Jim Jordan. As you saw earlier, he was an assistant wrestling coach at Ohio State University, where 8 of his former wrestlers claim he knew about sexual abuse by the team doctor and failed to report it. Apparently, he can't cover up his arms because he was too busy covering up allegations of sexual abuse. It is infuriating that these 3 men are allowed to show their faces in polite society, much less defend the captain of the rape culture all-star team. Look, the impeachment case isn't about sexual assault, but for women and survivors, it is horrifying to see these men congeal together to protect each other. Unfortunately, they'll almost certainly succeed in getting their client off, paving the way for them to start their own specialty law firm, the only law firm whose phone number is 911.